Hello, I'm Denver Henderson, the Assistant Director of the Williams County Public Library, here with another episode of Oddly Peculiar. When Grace Hester Gilbert was born to Giles and Aracina Gilbert of Nettle Lake on February 2, 1876, she was covered in a layer of fine hair. Within a few years of her birth, Grace had developed a full head of hair and a full beard. This anatomical oddity would lead to a most unusual career. Grace and her family were farmers, and she enjoyed farm life. It was said that she was a thickly built girl who wore trousers and loved doing farm work. However, she knew that there was money to be made in joining the most popular form of entertainment at the time, the circus. Grace Gilbert signed her first contract with Ringling Brothers Circus in Defiance in 1901. At that time, she claimed that her beard was 18 inches long, far exceeding the then bearded lady record holder. She was encouraged to bleach her facial hair a lighter color for a broader public appeal. In 1903, Grace switched to the Barnum and Bailey Circus and was an immediate sensation. Grace traveled the world with the circus, including performing before the aristocrats and monarchs of Europe. During the off-season, she returned to the farm. By this time, her family had relocated to Kalkaska County, Michigan, where she threw herself into farm chores. It wasn't all physical labor, though. One of her favorite hobbies was the delicate craft of lace making. At the end of the circus season in 1910, Grace married 53-year-old Giles Calvin. She and Giles had been sweethearts when Grace was a girl, but her life in the circus interrupted the romance. Giles was at the time a widower and renewed his interest in her. During the off-season, Grace would return to Giles in Kalkaska, where they lived a quiet life. When Grace went out in public, she wore an opaque veil to hide her facial hair, which she had nicknamed her alfalfas. Grace Gilbert left the circus life in 1918, though she would do a few more shows to earn money. She and Giles lived together on the farm until Grace developed a sore throat in January of 1924. Her condition grew worse, and on January 24, 1924, Grace Gilbert, known to the world as the Girl with the Golden Whiskers, died quietly in her sleep. She was buried in Maple Grove Cemetery in Leetsville, Michigan. There is little evidence of Grace Gilbert in Williams County. Her grandparents are buried in Malcolm Cemetery in Northwest Township, but her presence in the popular culture continues. If you have watched the film The Greatest Showman, the bearded lady in that film was based in part on Grace. From farm girl to international sensation, this little girl from Nettle Lake led a life that can only be called oddly peculiar.